Where can you meet a real Ukrainian or Slavic girl? This question is probably the most popular one among those I get in the comments, and today it's finally time to answer it. I will tell you about the most accessible and effective ways to meet a Ukrainian girl and start a conversation with her. You don't need to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on the services of dubious dating websites. These methods are rarely used by foreigners and they actually work. Before recording this video, I even tested all these methods myself to check their effectiveness, and the results pleasantly surprised me. Of course, there are two options: online and offline dating. As my experience shows, online dating is a great tool in today's world if you are looking for long-distance dating. But to develop a relationship and get to the next level, you need to not get stuck online and quickly move on to real dating and real communication. Today we will talk about how and where to meet Ukrainian girls online. And if this video gets 1000 likes, I will make a follow-up about meeting in real life. Let's get started. If you live in a country where there aren't many Ukrainian or Slavic-looking girls, it's best to start looking for your future partner in advance, even before you plan your trip. Nowadays, there are many online dating platforms where you can meet interesting people without leaving your home. Thanks to the internet, you have the opportunity to browse girls' profiles, learn about their interests and hobbies, and start a conversation to see how well you match. And when you arrive in Ukraine, you will have the opportunity to meet a girl whom you have already managed to meet and communicate with online. You will be able to invite her on a date, for example, to a cafe for a cup of coffee, to continue your acquaintance in real life. The first and quite popular free dating service is called Davinchik. More than 15 million people use it every month, so you'll have plenty of options. It's a simple Telegram bot available in both Ukrainian and English. Here you can meet not only Ukrainian girls, but also girls from other Slavic countries. How does it work? You install the Telegram app on your smartphone or computer. Then follow the link provided under this video and press start. Go through a simple registration process, fill in your profile details and upload a photo. You can either share your location or manually select the city where you want to meet a Slavic girl. The bot will then show you profiles of girls nearby. You can like a profile that interests you. The girl will see your like, and if she likes you back, you will receive a notification along with her direct Telegram contact. After that, you can message her directly. However, there is another option. Instead of just liking a profile, you can send a greeting message right away. I highly recommend doing this because in our culture, girls usually don't message first. It's traditionally expected that men takes the initiative. This is a great way to meet girls because you can message them directly on Telegram. And where do we all spend most of our time? That's right, in messengers, chatting with friends, family, colleagues, or simply catching up on the news. So, by messaging a girl on Telegram, you will definitely get her attention. And the best part, you can communicate with Ukrainian girls even if you don't speak Ukrainian. You can use the built-in Telegram translator or convenient browser extensions. Now let's move on to the second most popular place to meet Slavic girls, Instagram. This method of meeting girls really works, and men from different countries, such as Turkey, have been successfully using it for many years. As I mentioned in one of my recent videos, since the war in Ukraine began, the number of marriages between Ukrainian women and foreigners has increased sharply. In fact, about 65% of these marriages were with Turkish men. This is a significant number, proving how effective this approach is. So, if you're looking for a way to meet a Ukrainian girl, this method might work well for you. So, before Turkish men take all the Ukrainian girls, let's figure out how to meet them on Instagram. It's very simple. Go to the search section of Instagram. There, select the Places tab and enter the name of a city or a specific location where the Ukrainian women you are interested in might go. It can be anything: a park, a theater, a gym, a coffee shop. Your search should be based on your own interests. For example, I searched for the name of the opera house in Lviv. And such a wave of beauties meets us in this place. Too many choices, I can decide. But before you let your tongue run wild, it's important to follow two basic rules to significantly reduce the chance of falling for a scammer or escort. First, don't write to girls who have more than 3,000 followers on their account. Second, don't write to girls who have a lot of photos with bouquets of flowers, expensive gifts, and photos in luxurious cars and expensive places. It's important to understand that when you message a Ukrainian girl on Instagram, she may not be open to or even interested in dating or relationships. After all, Instagram is a social network, not a dating platform. That's why using the right approach is crucial here. I will reveal the key to this approach at the end of this video. But if you're tired of wasting time on the wrong women, if you want to meet them easily, understand their intentions, build long-term relationships, if you want to feel confident and attractive in the eyes of Slavic women, my workbook Slavic Woman Step-by-Step Guide will help you with all of this. It's based on years of experience in organizing dates between Ukrainian women and foreign men, as well as studying the psychology of Slavic women. From the moment this video is released, you have the opportunity to pre-order the workbook at the best conditions and get free 3 months access to the exclusive Marianne Club, where you will find exclusive audio podcasts on topics of your choice, answers to your questions, access to workbook chapters before its official release, a members-only chat where you can communicate, share experiences, and receive support. Everyone who supports the release of my workbook and pre-orders it before the official launch will receive special bonuses. This will be my way of thanking you for your support and interest in my work. My main goal is to help you find love, not just to make money. That's why I offer a money-back guarantee if you realize that the workbook isn't right for you. Click the link below this video or scan the QR code to check out all the pre-order details. And now let's continue. Another popular way to meet people online in Ukraine is through apps like Tinder and Badoo. Many Ukrainian women register on these platforms in search of a suitable husband. If you ask women in Ukraine who have looked for partners, most of them have likely used one of these services at some point. The plus side of these services is that here you pass a visual check, which greatly increases the likelihood that on the other side of the screen sits the person you see in the photo. And also the fact that the service doesn't take money for correspondence itself. The disadvantage is that in order to fully use the application, you need to subscribe for a fee. The cost of this subscription can be different and depends on your age and country of residence. As far as I know, in the USA, a monthly subscription costs from $20 to $40. I want to emphasize one important point. This is not an advertisement. and I do not receive any remuneration or bonuses from these services. I'm just sharing my experience and effective methods that can help you to meet real Ukrainian women. Without a paid subscription, you won't be able to meet girls who live in other cities and countries. And even if you want to meet someone in your own city, you will have to spend much more time searching for the right person. Whether to use and pay for these services or not is up to you. The best part is that using all of the above methods, you will have almost no competition if you take the right approach. After all, many men make the same mistakes, because of which they don't work out. And if you do everything right, you will be able to stand out favorably against their background and attract the attention of really worthy girls. What do I mean by this? I conducted a small survey among my attractive female friends to find out how they feel about online dating. And here are the results. 4 out of 5 girls have or have had a profile on dating sites such as Tinder, Badoo, or on Telegram bots. Most of them believe that this is a really working way to meet a guy. They tell us that either themselves or their girlfriends have found husbands, both Ukrainian and foreign, this way. But there is one big disadvantage. Many girls who are looking for serious relationships encounter negative experiences with online dating. They complain about inadequate communication, a large number of strange men who on the internet allow themselves vulgarities, oddities, or simply cannot support a normal conversation. And many girls also say that the profiles of men look terrible and that with such men don't even want to get acquainted. Here is what attractive Ukrainian women write about online dating. Pause if you are interested in reading and I will continue. This is great news for you, and here's why. If you do everything correctly, you will be that decent man whom most Ukrainian women have been searching for months or even years. And with the war, the situation has become even more critical. Unfortunately, a huge number of men have lost their lives. Another large group of wealthy men who could afford to pay massive bribes have left the country. And tragically, many men who return from the war after it ends will struggle to reintegrate into normal life due to psychological trauma. And knowing our men who are prejudiced against therapists and won't have the means to do so, things are going to be very sad. It's all very sad, but it's important to have the courage to face the truth. And in such circumstances, a lot of Ukrainian women will have huge difficulties in finding a man to create a family and be unhappy, experience huge stress and loneliness. I saw some men in the comments writing that they consider it immoral to have relationships with Ukrainian women in such a situation. But tell me, what is better, to leave them in these realities of loneliness when they will not be able to build a strong family just because they have a negligible chance to find a suitable man in Ukraine? Write what you think about it in the comments. I'm very interested to know your opinion. In the meantime, we'll move on to fourth, a working method of getting to know Slavic women. These are services for communicating with native speakers. For example, Speaky and Interpulse. You may not find as many Ukrainian or Slavic women here as in the previous options, but this way has some very important advantages. This service is created specifically for those who want to improve their foreign language skills by communicating directly with native speakers. Consequently, it's much easier to start a conversation and communicate. After all, you you share a common goal, language learning. And importantly, 95% of Ukrainian women here know English at a pretty good level or practice it on purpose. But of course, you should realize that not all Ukrainian women here will be interested in building relationships. Many of them may already have families or relationships, but this is still a great way to meet and socialize with Ukrainians and other Slavic girls. Well, now that you know where to meet real Ukrainian girls online, let's talk about how to do it. As I said earlier, the problem is that many men simply don't know how to make a pleasant first impression on Slavic girls, or maybe even any girls. It's best to learn from the mistakes of others. It saves a lot of time. And so the first mistake of most men is an empty or even worse, strange profile. Ukrainian girls very rarely communicate with strangers in real life. Now tell me, why should she answer a stranger she knows nothing about and can find out? Give her a chance to get to know you a little better. Who are you? Where are you from? What you look like? What does your life look like? What do you do for a living? What are your hobbies? Your task is to present yourself to the Ukrainian as an interesting person with your own life and interests, not a strange, faceless maniac. We also have a saying, meet by the clothes, see by the mind. And here you are at the first stage of acquaintance, and your main task is to attract attention, to make a pleasant first impression before you even start a conversation. And of course, your appearance plays an important role here, but immediately ready to reassure you. Pleasant appearance, this does not mean you should have 2 meters tall and a face like a prince. I talk about all this in detail in my workshop because it's a topic for several hours. But in a nutshell, there are 3 things that any girl pays attention to when evaluating your pre-film photos, namely well-groomed appearance, style and healthy body. And in fact, it's not as difficult as it seems at first glance to be well-groomed and attractive. In Ukraine, with this, a lot of men have big problems. And we even have a joke that a man should be a little more handsome than a monkey. During all the time I've spent organizing meetings between Ukrainian women and foreign men, I've seen many men who were naturally gifted with good facial features and a strong build. But at the same time, their lack of grooming and messy appearance completely repelled all the women. And on the other hand, I've seen men who, even at 60 years old, managed to attract young Ukrainian women aged 25-35. And it was all because they smelled nice, were well groomed with a stylish haircut and shave, and dressed neatly and attractively. For Ukrainian women, natural looks is not the most important thing. What truly matters is being well groomed and presentable. If you're interested in me recording a video on how to effortlessly become more groomed and attractive to Ukrainian women, write about it in the comments below this video. The second huge mistake in the first contact with Slavic girls is to write a banal phrase in the style of "Hi, how are you? Hi, what are you doing? You're so beautiful. I thought I'd write to you and meet you. You're so beautiful. Be my wife." Believe me, we girls have already developed banner blindness and even a kind of disgust. If a girl sees such a message, she may not even open your profile. Okay, but what about writing? Here you need to use a bit of sharp wit and quick thinking. But trust me, it will pay off handsomely. Remember this rule. Study a girl's profile and find something to latch on to. Let's break it down with an example. If an attractive Ukrainian woman's profile says that she is into skiing, you can message her something like this. "Hi, I see you're into skiing. Could you recommend the best ski resort to visit in Ukraine? I'm planning to visit Western Ukraine next month. I am a big fan of skiing and always try to hit the slopes in every country I visit. Let's look at why this works well. First, showing that you and the girl have common interests. She and you like skiing. Second, you ask her for a favor. And Ukrainians, just in the genetic code, is written to help foreigners. Don't ask why, so myself curious. Third, you start the conversation with an easy topic for the girl from which it's easy to push back and develop the conversation. From there, as the conversation progresses, your goal is to build the connection with a girl and eventually invite her for a coffee when you arrive in Ukraine. By that point, she will already be open to meeting you because through your conversation and profile, she will see that you are decent and interesting man. After all, wouldn't you agree that it's much nicer to talk to someone you like and share common interests with? That's exactly why making a good first impression during your initial conversation is so important. Right now, it's very important to talk about what you should absolutely not do. And the first rule, don't bombard a girl with messages from morning till night. This will make you seem like you have nothing better to do all day. Remember, I strictly forbid you from spamming Ukrainian women. It's much better to send just 1 or 2 messages a day, but make sure they are interesting and meaningful. The more messages you send to a girl, the less interest she has in you. And the second thing, and probably the most important thing, is not to feel insecure and afraid of being rejected. I have already talked about this in many videos. Women subconsciously lose interest in men if they do not broadcast confidence. It's important not to confuse confidence with self-confidence. Be calm, restrained, not intrusive. Your movements and voice should be calm and precise. Of course, not everyone has the skills, but the good news is that it can and should be developed. We all get nervous the first time we drive, the first day at work, or the first day of college. But with time, the anxiety fades and confidence builds. The same goes for dating. Don't fixate on just one girl or one date. If you know this is a challenge for you, then don't invite just one Ukrainian woman for coffee. Invite 10. Treat this as an exciting adventure or a game, and don't place any expectations on these meetings. And you'll notice that with each new interaction, your confidence will grow and your anxiety will fade away. And there is nothing wrong with that. After all, success is just a certain number of unsuccessful attempts. Maybe you will be lucky and you will meet your love on the second date, while someone will need to make 43 attempts. Don't despair. On the way to my goals and dreams, when it's difficult and I want to give up, I remember that Thomas Edison made more than 1,000 attempts and spent 5 years to create a light bulb with a carbon filament, and I immediately feel better. But I wish for you that your path will be much more easier and pleasant. Besides, you're not alone, you have me, Marianne, who is trying her best to help and support you along the way. Good luck!